What's a fact you wish you didn't know? VX, an organophosphate neurological poison, is so dangerous that a 50 microgram droplet is an LD/50 or median lethal dose. That amount is a droplet the size of Abraham Lincoln's eye on a penny. The United States made 2,000 tons of the stuff during the Cold War. I had a stroke at 16 and lost the ability to move or speak for about 6 to 8 hours until the docs fixed me up. I was completely aware of everything around me but unable to do anything about it. It was without a doubt the most lost I've ever felt because there was nothing I could do. In most cases, it only takes 3 generations to be completely forgotten. I read this book called Fever about doctors treating Lassa fever victims in Africa. There was a pilot who would fly dead victims to a city morgue for autopsies. The bodies were on a gurney in the back of a small plane. Sometimes the change in air pressure would cause air to expel from the lungs over the vocal cords, which would create sounds like moaning. And more than once the air pressure caused the corpse's stomach muscles to contract and it sat up. Horses can't throw up. If they need to throw up, they die. The story of a Sam Ballard whose friend dared him to eat a slug. He ate it. Death came quickly after the 420-day coma.
Why did he go into a coma from the slug?
The young rugby player ate the slug at a party in 2010 at the age of just 19 and was unaware that the animal was infected with rat lungworm. He contracted eosinophilic meningoencephalitis and fell into a coma for 420 days. When whales mate, 90 Yezdi off their 40-gallon cum load misses entirely and is released into the ocean. I live near the coast. That while it is true that normal Alzheimer's and dementia only happens at later ages, there exists childhood Alzheimer's and dementia too. So yeah, realizing that literally anyone can lose their mind and die as a husk of themselves just because of bad genes really fucked with my mind.
30 Yezdi off people that report missing people end up kidnapping/murdering them. There's a subreddit where people post pics of their poop. It's called Poop. I learned of it yesterday. After verifying that it exists, I wish I could go back to yesterday before I learned of it and never know this. As dead bodies decay, they burp or release gases. For this reason, caskets and mausoleums should be ventilated so that the gas can escape. The actress who played Ducky in The Land Before Time was murdered by her dad in a double murder-suicide before the movie was released. If you have a surgery where they need to move your organs around, they might not function for a day as the body assumes that they are dead. You can just randomly twist in such a way that you slice open your spinal cord sheath and depressurize your skull, forcing your brain to sag onto your spine. This has happened to George Clooney and Steve Kerr. While it's not fatal in and of itself and is usually treatable by patching the tear with the patient's own blood, the pain is so bad that patients will kill themselves. Clooney says that he sure thought about it. Seals will regularly rape penguins to death. Violently.
Ducks are violent rapists too. They can drown their victims or tear a chicken to death.
So are dolphins.
So are otters. The otter one fucked me up because the males basically do this on the regular and get the females pregnant so frequently that their bodies just give up. Female otters straight up die because they've had too many pups in too short of a timeline and their bodies can't sustain the pace.
Pigs can shoot their own intestines out of their anus, and other pigs will chew on it.
A fellow student at college came in one morning looking like he hadn't slept. He was a non-traditional student, so about 10 years older. He was married to a veterinarian. It seems after a bunch of pigs caught colds and coughed their rectums out, he spent the night helping his wife sew them back in.
There are corpses on MT Everest that are now used as waypoints.
Rainbow Canyon is so called because of all the colorful coats.
During 9/11, rescue dogs were being sent in to retrieve survivors. As the dogs kept bringing back dead body after dead body, some of the handlers had to go in to pretend to be victims, as the dogs were getting traumatized at not finding anyone alive. When you're on your deathbed, hearing is often the last sense to go. In that case, your last sensation from the mortal world will be the sound of pain and distress from the people around you. There are certain species of bug where the female doesn't have any external genitalia, and the male has a penis that is built like a drill, and in order for them to reproduce, the male must break through the protective outside shell of the female by force and ejaculate into the open wound.